The following podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Connect, Australia's newest choice for event management and brand development specialising in pro wrestling.
And now the B Plus Wrestling Podcast. Watch global. Support local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The news.
B plus.
Check it out! Here we go! You wanna mess with us? 'Cause we're standing on the ground, standing on the ground. You wanna mess with us? 'Cause we're standing on the ground, standing on the ground.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the most must-listen-to WWE podcast in Australia. Welcome to the B Plus Podcast. My name is C-Jaii, and I'll be your host this evening as we head straight into Stomping Grounds, which is a week from Monday. We're flying in fast. We just had a pay-per-view, which, due to personal reasons, we did not cover. However, we are covering Stomping Grounds, so that will be coming up very soon. We so far have 5 or 6 matches now, and we're flying into it, but we're not flying into it without hitting Monday Night Raw this week, which we'll start off with, of course, Seth Rollins, the Universal Champion, opening the show. So he opens the show, comes out and says a few things, of course. Baron Corbin comes out and goes, you know what, I've pulled a few strings, spoke to some execs, tries to pull that big money shot kind of persona that he's got going at the moment, and he's gotten himself a rematch at Stomping Ground. Now, he's also announced that his stipulation for Stomping Grounds is the fact that it's going to be a special guest referee. Seth Rollins goes on to say that no one has Corbin's back. No one likes Corbin. All of a sudden, Sami Zayn comes out. He goes, you know what? Nah, I've got your back. Seth goes, who's got your back? And Kevin Owens, the first wild card of from SmackDown Live, enters the show. Is this still technically a wild card, or is the brand split finished? That is a mouthful and a half. That they just need to stop calling it a brand split. They have a kind of toss and turn back and forth with a few words, having Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins being the main event for Monday Night Raw. We get Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party in the first match for Monday Night Raw, which is, of course, a rematch from Saudi Arabia from Super Showdown, which is still stupidly called Super Showdown, even though that was in Melbourne. This one was in Saudi Arabia. It's really annoying. Please don't do that ever again. Australia needs to have its own thing. Gosh. So we do get Lars Sullivan, Lucha House Party, an elimination handicap match. Sullivan eliminating Kalisto with a freak accident, Lince Dorado with a running sit-out powerbomb, and before eliminating Gran Metalik, throwing Kalisto onto steel steps spine first, throwing off Gran Metalik with a diving splash, eliminating Gran Metalik last. Was an impressive showing from Lars Sullivan, but Kalisto, Dorado, and Metalik, as much as I don't like them, they don't deserve to be buried like that. This was really tough for me to watch, actually, because giving Lars' history, he's just been fed 3 people. This could be classed in a bad way from a lot of people, but it's really strange to see that they've just hand-fed him 3 Mexican wrestlers after what he's gone and said in the past. It just doesn't sit right. For this as a first feud, still doesn't sit right for me. Again, I don't like any of these guys in this match, so it was kind of boring to me, but I kind of guess we had it coming. Then we have Miz TV questioning Samoa Joe on his heinous actions against Rey Mysterio last week. Rey Mysterio, of course, last week forfeiting the United States Champion to Samoa Joe by saying, your shoulders weren't down. Oh, plus I'm injured. His due date is roughly the end of July for his return, so you can almost guarantee that we will see both Ray and Dominic back on the screen come the end of July, hunting for that United States Championship. So I think we could see that Joe's going to hold on to it for a little bit longer. Joe comes out and says, we need a challenger. He wants to address the future, which brought out a few people. Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Ricochet, who got cheap-shotted by Cesaro, The Miz. They all want a shot, which leads into a 6-man tag team match. Ricochet, Miz, and Strowman versus Cesaro, Joe, and Lashley. Joe eventually walking out of the match, making it a 3-on-2 handicap, with Ricochet, Miz, and Strowman getting the pinfall victory. This was an okay match, I guess you could say it. It was a setup, I guess, for like a 6-way match or over-the-top battle royale, which would be pretty funny to watch. It had one of those things where everyone wants to see these guys in a championship opportunity. And of course, Creative wants to see it too, so they're like, let's just throw 5 people at Joe, have him go over people because he's the Samoan demolition machine. It's interesting, to say the least. I'm excited to see where this is going. It was a surprise setup for a match. It was really fun to watch this match too. News coming out of this match, however, is that Cesaro has been injured. I'm not entirely sure what the current situation is. But the rumors are that he come off, he doesn't appear to be seriously injured, but he was holding his back, he was kind of, you could see that, it was his knee he was holding, I believe, holding his knee during the match, was with Ricochet and helped to the back, so it looks like he might actually be a little bit injured, possibly, but we'll find out as rumors start spreading and official statement comes out from WWE. The next match we get is Becky Lynch and Bayley versus Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross, who is very frustrating because NXT fed Nikki Cross as this crazy, unpredictable psycho. They've handed her on Raw and SmackDown, and she's so placid. She's so innocent in a way. It kind of reminds me, and don't shoot me on this, but it kind of reminds me of when Luke Gallows had the Festus persona going on, and that he wasn't really crazy until the bell rung, and then if the bell rung again, he'd stop. It reminds me of that, and that's not the good way to play her character at all. But of course, we have Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. They're having their match at Stomping Ground. Bayley and Alexa having their match at Stomping Ground. So it was champions versus challengers. And Evans and Bliss got the win via pinfall, which was kind of surprising to see the challengers go over in this situation. Does that mean that the challengers are going to lose at Stomping Ground? It could be the way that it's going to go. But this is where C-Jaii ship booking comes into play, and I know all of my listeners just went, ugh. However, hear me out. Alexa Bliss defeats Bayley, becomes the SmackDown Women's Champion. Nikki Cross double turns, and of course attacks Alexa Bliss, being like, you want to play now? You want to play? You've got what I want, you want to play? And it inserts Nikki Cross into the title picture. Could we have Nikki Cross versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's title? I think that'll be the easiest way to get Nikki into the title picture. But again, saying that, we have also the rumors that Sasha Banks is making her return soon. Bayley holding the belt would be the perfect opportunity to finally get Becky versus Bayley. That's what the fans really wanted lighting into WrestleMania. Everyone thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. So, could we see potentially Sasha Banks returning after Stomping Grounds? It's really strange because Sasha Banks is currently, the rumor is that she's currently working on a project outside, like with WWE, but outside of the ring, where she is working for WWE 2K20 content, which is, it's really weird. Despite her recent acts on social media where she's been liking tweets of those who are not of someone in a WWE future, the tweet following is saying, "With every passing Raw and SmackDown, I grow less and less interested in the product. I'm starting to realize that I'm supporting a shitty company for its past greatness rather than critiquing its current bullshit. I can't even sit through Raw or SmackDown anymore." Now, Sasha Banks has gone on to like that and as well post a photo of herself sitting inside an NXT ring saying, "There was nowhere to go but everywhere." It's one of these moments where you kind of can't tell what she's doing. Is she going to come in and play the persona and be like, "I'm the boss, I don't have to be here"? Or does she legit not want to be here? It's one of those moments where everyone kind of asks themselves and goes, is this a work? Is this a shoot? Like, what's actually happening? But of course, heading back to Monday Night Raw, Evans and Bliss getting the pinfall victory. Paul Heyman makes an appearance saying that Brock Lesnar is done, announcing his cash-in. He'll just show up when he wants to, because that's what the contract allows him. And that's all that Brock Lesnar really does, is just show up when he wants to. Which, yeah, don't put the belt back on him, please. Rumors are that Brock Lesnar, his cash-in is going to end on a disqualification, so it will be another wasted Money in the Bank winner. But I suppose it's probably going to be the best way to go if they're going to keep the belt on Seth Rollins, which is the rumor that he's going to hold it for quite some time. So it's interesting to see what's happening with Brock Lesnar to come in. We get the WWE Women's Champions, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, the Iconics versus some local competitors to retain the Women's Tag Team Championships, because apparently they can't defend against an actual team. But going by the rules now, they don't have to defend for another 30 days. So, yeah, that was pretty much the easiest thing for them to do. Then we get Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre celebrating their victory over Roman Reigns in the ring. Shane drinking out of the Best in the World Cup was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen him do. Like, that was great. This is the ultimate slap in the face to Miz, and to Dolph, who he beat, and to Roman Reigns. It was pretty funny. So, we have that little sort of, we're going to have a party, the little get-together sort of thing. Then they announced that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder can join the party, but only if they bring back gold. And it leads into the match of the Raw Tag Team Championship. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder versus the Revival versus the Usos. This was a really good match. I love seeing this match. To be honest, I actually forgot Hawkins and Ryder were the Tag Team Champions. We haven't seen them on TV in that long. They kind of just wasted space at that stage. So, we had this match. It was decent. Super kick party everywhere. Sorry, copyright, the Young Bucks, I know, blah, blah, blah. Shoot me. Super kick party. The Revival, however, stealing the victory after Jay hits the splash. Kind of bounces towards the ropes. Wilder holds him back from breaking up the pinfall. And then you get Dawson sneaking in, copying the pinfall victory. 1, 2, 3. The Revival are your new Raw Tag Team Champions, which means we will actually see Raw Tag Team Champions on TV. Please, keep them on TV. Please. Then we get the Firefly Funhouse segment, which this has got to be the highlight of Raw and SmackDown for not only myself, but so many people out there, because it is so unpredictable, being the first thing, and two, it's also entertaining. And it's really sad to say when their backstage pre-scripted, pre-recorded segments are funnier and more entertaining than what's going on in the ring. Like, that kind of says something. WWE needs to step up their in-ring game. That's all I have to say. However, Bray Wyatt having fun on his Firefly Funhouse, but Mercy, the Buzzard, and Rambling Rabbit get into an argument. Wyatt threatening to get the Fiend. It was really strange because Rabbit's like, I'm going to speak my mind. And then he's like, I'm going to expose the secrets of this fun house. Tell you what's really going on here. Until Bray Wyatt grabs him in the face, lifts him up, throws him on the floor, and smashes him with a hammer. Introducing Yowie Wowie Rambling Rabbit's Jam. That's right, it's Jam. I think he called it something else, but it's... What? He's selling food from his rabbit? Sure. That's all I have to say. Sure. But again, yeah, this is the most entertaining part of Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. So this was freaking funny. I can't wait to see what they do with the Eater of Worlds. Does he still go away with Eater of Worlds? I'm not sure, but hopefully we can see him make his in-ring return soon, because that would be pretty cool. Then we head into our main event of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, with a special guest outside referee, Sami Zayn, of course, playing I wouldn't say an enforcer style role or a manager's style role. It was just odd. His role was so back and forth. Of course, John Cone, who was the referee for the Corbin Rollins match at Super Showdown, he was the referee for this one too. So Sami Zayn sort of had that proposition, or he had the opportunity. They eventually stopped Cone from making a 3 count, and that set off Seth Rollins going after Sami Zayn, who called for a disqualification. So Kevin Owens technically defeats Rollins by disqualification. Corbin tries to take advantage after the bell, but Seth Rollins, as a steel chair, takes his frustrations out on Sami Zayn and just beats the pulp out of him. Rollins finishing it with a stomp, watching Corbin as Corbin cowards up the ramp like the coward he is. It wasn't so much a match. Zayn was heavily involved. Both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have completely reverted back to the roles before they had their injuries, and it has left them both barely credible. So, having wins as a DQ, not the greatest. Again, put on a decent match, but it was that's all I have to say. We've got a couple of news coming out of Monday Night Raw, of course. EC3 being one of the main ones. He's being odd on social media. He has been going from being one of the hottest commodities in NXT to being a jobber on Monday Night Raw, and he's obviously not happy about it. Posting an Instagram photo of himself on the Raw ramp by looks of it, with the caption, "Our mistrust of the future makes it hard to give up the past." Not sure what this means. He could potentially just be looking towards what could be coming. It's strange to see. EC3's contract, I think, is coming up soon as well, so we could potentially be seeing him leaving the company. It wouldn't surprise me. EC3 would be a hot commodity for AEW, but it's really strange. He went from being the main event in NXT to chasing R-Truth for the 24/7 title. It's really strange. His difference over a year as well with his entrance, which was pointed out by a fan on Twitter under the name of "Where Are the Chicken Nuggets?" I love that name. I could not say it. EC3 and NXT being pumped, being excited, walking quick, pointing towards the name for EC3 with relative quickness, versus now where he's on main event and he's kind of just throwing his arms, he's slow to the ring, he kind of has his shoulders slumped a little bit more, he's not as pumped. It's as if he's not happy. Don't blame him. He's been the most underutilized from the 6 that were pulled up from NXT, and it's weird. Like, he's one of the greatest people in the ring at the moment. He goes along with a couple of the superstars like Luke Harper, The Revival, Sasha Banks, who have all publicly stated that they're not happy. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. An update on Sheamus after his retirement reports. He's ready to go. He wants it. He's hungry. He's in great shape. They're just not sure about what to do with him creatively, so it's in a very frustrating place to be. He's ready to go by the sounds of it. That was, of course, Batista was telling Ryan Satin that Sheamus had recently visited him. So Sheamus is good to go. The reports of him copying the injury that retired Edge may not be 100% accurate. I suppose we'll see how things go with that aspect. But he's good to go. I can understand them not wanting to throw him in with the bar. So Cesaro looks like he's out. Sheamus is about to come back in. Could we see them swap places? We don't know. We will have to watch and find out. Of course, Raw posting a hell of a low on their ratings this week, doing 2.13 million viewers, the lowest mark in modern history, with the exception of Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. This also goes up against the Raptors versus Golden State that did 18.22 million viewers in the United States. This is crazy numbers. Like, I can't even fathom how many people were sitting in. It was breaking down 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. The first hour was 2.3 million viewers. The second hour was 2.09 million viewers. And the last hour was 1.9 million viewers. This is really bad ratings compared to what we've had previously. I know this was, I think it was plus 215,000 over last week. The week before that was down by 300,000 of the week before that. It's very strange getting into these analytics side of things, because you start to see how Raw actually is. Coming from a fan aspect for myself, I love Monday Night Raw and I love SmackDown, never miss it. But apparently a lot of people are starting to miss it. So it's really strange to see these. Obviously not strange to the people who have got eyes that are a bit more open than mine. But low numbers, it doesn't look great heading into Stomping Ground and heading into the WWE in general. Of course, we'll have a quick break right now as a word from our sponsors, and then we'll get straight into SmackDown Live.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, OUTBREAK NUTRITION. OUTBREAK NUTRITION are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at OUTBREAK NUTRITION. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to our fantastic sponsors. We will head straight into SmackDown Live with Miz TV being forced. That's right, the commentators announced that Miz TV was being forced to be hosted, which is probably the first time I think I've ever heard that. Ever. So, I don't know why anyone would really want to force Miz TV. It's kind of boring show as it is at the moment. But Miz TV comes in, introduces Drew McIntyre, Elias, and the self-proclaimed best in the world, Shane McMahon, for a special edition of Miz TV. McMahon instructs Elias to play a song which didn't sound like a song, more like hitting random strings. Traded a few barbs with the Miz, laughs it off as Roman Reigns' threat to avenge his loss to Shane O'Mac at Super Showdown. McIntyre takes to the microphone claiming that he would use his greatest weapon, the Claymore Kick, to defeat the big dog at Stomping Grounds. I can't do accents. But yeah, it looks like we're getting yet another Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre match. Can this please fucking stop? This is... wow. I know myself, I was saying this back in 2009, 2010 when it was Triple H and Randy Orton where they feuded for a year. That was over championships. That got personal. This has just become shitty. Please stop. Give them both someone new. That's all I ask. It is announced that Miz would face Elias McIntyre in a gauntlet match, in a sense, and if he won against those two, would face against Shane McMahon. Of course, runs the gauntlet. Miz is fantastic, defeating Elias with a skull-crushing finale. And goes to have he nearly actually gets Drew McIntyre. Shane McMahon getting involved, causing the distraction. Yet, I was going to call him Sheamus. You get Drew McIntyre delivering the Glasgow Kiss headbutt to the face of the Miz, followed by Claymore, McIntyre scoring the win by defeating the Miz. Then Shane being the best in the world and being like, no, you know what? I'll give you what you wanted. I'll give you your third match. Shane O'Mac hits the triangle choke, defeating the Miz. He is now 3-0 against the Miz. This slightly reminds me of when the Miz debuted on Monday Night Raw and started calling out John Cena, although this match is actually doing something. But when he was like calling out John Cena and having ridiculous moments, he starts counting the 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. I want Shane to do that and just start like randomly defeating the Miz for stupid reasons. Having the Miz build up that sort of heat and be like, and take him out. I don't know what that was. And then we get, of course, Heavy Machinery. We get Daniel Bryan and Rowan hit the ring as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, saying that they are going to put the universe into the treat, put the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line against the Yolo County Tag Team Champions, which are actually two enhancement talents, former Tough Enough competitor AJ Kirsch and Dave Dutra. I think it's Dutra, which had cardboard titles draped over their shoulders. This was actually pretty funny. But before the match could begin, Heavy Machinery interrupting. Otis and Tucker claim that Brian and Rowan are ducking them, go back and forth, calling them elitists. And of course, Heavy Machinery getting pushed into a match, defeating the enhancement talent. Yeah, that was a quick and easy match. Heavy Machinery obviously looking straight into the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Let it happen, please, because that would be a pretty good match. Next up, we get a little backstage segment from Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose discussing with Ember Moon, saying that she needs to read a proper book and handing her the magazines again. And the most cringy moment of WWE this week when Sonya Deville smashes a Nintendo Switch out of Ember Moon's hands. Like, I've got a Switch myself. I know how much you pay for those things. That was painful to watch. I can understand Ember Moon losing her shit. But this, of course, leads into Carmella versus Sonya Deville. Deville defeating Carmella by a pinfall because of Deville catching her with a leaping knee to the face. I love that move. I always do. But of course, this looks like we're going to get Sonya Deville and or Mandy Rose versus Amber Moon on the horizon. So, could we see Carmella and Amber Moon sort of tag team in this situation? I don't know, but let's see how it goes. Then we get Big E's return to SmackDown Live, which of course is interrupted. But we get Big E, and then we get Kofi and Xavier Woods. The New Day is back together. They go on, have a few sort of smart remarks, and then we get Dolph Ziggler, who comes out, interrupts it, and this was really a filler. It wasn't the greatest. Dolph Ziggler interrupted, ranted, and blamed his loss at Saudi Arabia on Woods' interference, which, yeah, you can kind of say it was, saying that Kingston cannot beat him with his powers, and he will prove it at Stomping Grounds. Sami Zayn then got in on the action to cut the same promo about hypocrites and righting wrongs. The segment ultimately ended with Big E promising to give Ziggler, Zayn, and Kevin Owens a preview. After, of course, Kofi Kingston goes on to say, you know what? I've beaten Dolph Ziggler, I've beaten Kevin Owens, I've beaten Sami Zayn. Go all three. Let's see what happens. So, of course, the main event is set. So that was going to be a decent six-man tag team match. Then we get Bayley versus Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss. Of course, they came out to Alexa Bliss's music, not Nikki Cross's, so it looks like they're burying Nikki Cross at this stage, even though she's in the match. It was really odd. Very odd. Then, of course, Bayley defeating Nikki Cross. It's really strange. If you watch closely, Bayley's starting to show some of the elements of her character that made her one of the most beloved in NXT history. With a sympathetic babyface, you can throw fists. When it is time to start that comeback, she can actually win the matches. She's coming off as that legitimate champion now, and it's going to be really good for having this momentum riding into Stomping Grounds. We get a quick Aleister Black promo being, hey, come fight me, come fight me. The door is wide open, come fight me. This whole segment, well, I would say it was a tweet, from the WWE, which said, who wants to challenge Aleister Black? One person put his name up, was Randy Orton. Now, this would be a good moment for the both of them. I would be excited to see this. I'm not sure who else would be following that, but it would be nice to see Randy Orton versus Aleister Black. Randy Orton, of course, also tweeted out saying, Finn Balor has the Intercontinental Championship, the first title Randy ever won. Now he wants it back. So we could be seeing Finn Balor versus Randy Orton, the Demon versus the Viper. Please let that happen. That would be a fantastic match. I'm begging for too much here because apparently WWE doesn't listen to anyone else. We get our main event of SmackDown Live, the New Day, making their tag team return. Big E's, of course, returned to the ring after being sidelined. You get Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus New Day. The New Day, once again, victorious over Ziggler, Owens, and Zayn. Kofi Kingston, of course, getting the Trouble in Paradise over Zayn for the win. Congratulations to the New Day. Kofi Kingston is on one hell of a roll. I'm pretty sure this now makes 15 matches undefeated. Wow. That's all I have to say. He's got one monster run as a WWE champion. I'm excited to see where it goes because really, if you think about it, if he loses the title to Dolph Ziggler at Stomping Grounds, it could potentially, it will skyrocket Dolph's career for sure. But coming out of this win that Kofi's got, the string of victories, it would be very unlikely to see him drop the title so soon. I think we can see a monster run coming from him. And could we potentially see him break CM Punk's record? That would be pretty interesting to see. But, of course, that closes out SmackDown Live. It was a decent week coming through WWE. a few couple of stories coming out. The first one I want to touch on, Super Showdown, Goldberg and Undertaker. Goldberg knocking himself out during the match, but apparently they had a shouting match backstage in the gorilla position. Not sure what was said, but apparently it was quite heated. Undertaker, of course, not looking too impressed with Goldberg at the end of the match. I don't blame you. It just looked horrible. The match was not great. Of course, it would have been fantastic if they were both in their prime, but this is two legends that should not be in the ring. Let them both retire, please. Please. Next up, of course, is John Cena. He's not in the ring, but he's still making WWE headlines. As WWE issues a statement, John Cena has officially joined the Fast and Furious 9 cast. This is pretty good. This is what WWE had to say. And I quote, "The champ is here, and he's ready to burn some serious rubber. As teased by franchise star Vin Diesel back in April, John Cena has officially joined the cast of Fast and Furious 9, as reported by Deadline.com. Although not much is known about his character at this time, we can only assume that multiple attitudes will be adjusted, vehicles will be destroyed, and lives will be lived 1/4 mile at a time." I guess you could say that was a pretty decent announcement, but congratulations to John Cena. We all know he's a massive car enthusiast, owning some of the rarest cars in the United States. This would be a dream for him, and I'm pretty sure it's a dream for people who followed him. 20 years, the Fast franchise has entertained fans. John Cena has been a fan of it, and now he gets to join it. Congratulations, John Cena. We do hope that it comes out well, because, to be honest, the last movie wasn't that great. WWE leniency with Goldberg, of course. We're going to swing back to him real quick. It's been said that he was allowed to cut his own promo. Now, it's really strange because WWE doesn't let many people do that. But apparently, WWE allowed Goldberg to say exactly what he wanted. It was an excellent promo that only built this match up, The Undertaker, more. But it was strange of the WWE to allow this. It was... I'm trying to get the words out here, because WWE have stopped so many people saying, no, you can't say this, no, you can't say that, no, you can't do this. A lot of it is coming from Vince. So Goldberg being able to say what he wanted when he wanted was pretty interesting. Now, someone jumping to Vince's protection, however, was none other than Velveteen Dream. On Insta, he went on to sort of be like, you know what, he's a director. He's coming out, he's doing everything because this is a TV show. So, good on him for actually doing that, because that is fantastic work for Velveteen Dream. We know that there's been some issues in the past with Vince not calling Dream up, but it's probably the better, honestly. So that's all I have to say. Batista, of course, taking shots at the WWE creative process, saying, and I quote, "The creative process, I still don't get. It was a nightmare to me the last time I was there, which was in 2014. It seems like it's become worse. It seems that I feel like they don't have a clear vision or a long-term vision. Everything's just week to week, and it doesn't seem like they have a plan to stick to very much." Chris Jericho pointed out something to me that makes complete sense. He said that John Cena, he's the last guy who's going to be over like he is. It's because performers now are limited. Their hands are tied. We can't go to war like we used to. We had more freedom. We could be more on the edge. And guys are just not given that freedom anymore. We all have to agree with Batista on this one at the moment. Wrestlers are not given freedom. They need to have their freedom a bit more. Please, WWE, let that happen. That's all I have to say. Batista, of course, went on to say that he tried to call Taker the week before Super Showdown. Called him and said, this is what he claims. So I called him Friday and said, "Hey man, is there any way you can talk out of this?" He just started laughing. He goes, "You know, when they talked to me about it a while back, it sounded good, but I'm obligated, so I'm doing it." Batista apparently trying to talk Undertaker out of the match with Goldberg. For some reasons unknown, it's kind of really strange. But that pretty much wraps up this week in the WWE Universe. So all I have to say is, what do you guys think? It seems that WWE are trying to push rematches and tag team matches down our throats. Can we see more of just normal matches? Please? That is all I ask. But of course, my name is C-Jaii. Thank you for listening to The View from the WWE Universe. You can find me on Instagram at CJ's World. And that's pretty much it, because I'm only on Insta now, so it's at CJ's_world. But collectively, we are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter, because wrestling wouldn't fit. And we are the B Plus Wrestling pretty much everywhere else except for Patreon, which is www.patreon.com/the B Plus. If you want to get in on our mission to watch global and support local, that is the place to do it. Every dollar that comes in goes towards growing the show and helping the word get out there about Aussie wrestling. You can get ad-free episodes, custom episodes, of course Discord, which is fantastic, you guys should jump on that as well, and all sorts of other awesome rewards, so get around it. Like, share and subscribe wherever you listen to us. And if you feel so inclined, leave us a 5-star review. And as always, thank you for listening.